You lost $10 this week. Maybe a parking ticket. Maybe a subscription you forgot to cancel. It stung more than it should have. Then, a few days later, you got an unexpected bonus of $100. It felt nice, but not 4 times nicer than losing $10 felt bad. Why is that? Why does losing sting so much harder than winning feels good? The answer isn't weakness. It isn't bad luck either. It's wired into the architecture of your brain, and economists have spent decades proving it. In the late 1970s, 2 psychologists named Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky ran a series of experiments that would reshape economics forever. They asked people simple questions about gains and losses. Would you rather have a guaranteed $50 or a 50-50 chance at $100 or nothing? Most people took the guaranteed money. Then they flipped the question. Would you rather lose a guaranteed $50 or take a 50-50 chance of losing $100 or nothing? Suddenly, people gambled. They chased risk to avoid a loss, but avoided risk to protect a gain. That's not rational, is it? Kahneman and Tversky called this phenomenon loss aversion. Their research, later published as prospect theory, showed that losses feel roughly twice as intense as equivalent gains. Losing $10 doesn't feel like -10. It feels closer to -20. Your brain isn't measuring money in a straight line. It's measuring it on a curve, steeper on the losing side than the winning side. This single idea went on to win Kahneman a Nobel Prize in economics, decades later, for showing that human decisions don't follow the clean logic economists once assumed. Here's the plain English version. Picture your happiness as a scale. Winning money nudges the needle up a little. Losing the same amount slams the needle down twice as hard. Evolution built this asymmetry for a reason. Thousands of years ago, losing your food supply could kill you. Missing a chance to gain more food was inconvenient, but survivable. Your ancestors who feared loss more than they craved gain were the ones who lived long enough to pass on that fear. You inherited a brain built for scarcity, not for spreadsheets. Richard Thaler, another economist working in this space, took the idea further. He showed that people don't just fear losses. They mentally file money into separate accounts, even though a dollar is always just a dollar. Lose $10 from your checking account, and it feels like a real loss. Gain $100 as a work bonus, and it feels like extra money, less real, easier to spend without pain. Thaler called this mental accounting, and it explains why a windfall gets spent carelessly while a small loss gets replayed in your head for days. So what does this mean for you today? It means the subscription you forgot to cancel bothers you far more than it should. Dollar for dollar. It means a stock market dip of 2% feels like a crisis, even when a 2% gain barely registers as good news. It means you might avoid selling a losing investment, not because the math supports holding it, but because locking in the loss makes it official. And your brain would rather avoid that pain than accept an obvious fact. Have you ever held on to something losing money just to avoid admitting it was a mistake? Dan Ariely, a behavioral economist who studies irrationality up close, has shown that this same asymmetry shapes decisions far beyond investing. It shapes how you negotiate a salary. It shapes how you react to a price increase. It even shapes how you feel about returning a purchase for less than you paid. The pain of losing is loud. The pleasure of gaining is quiet. And loud always wins your attention first. Cass Sunstein, who studies how small design choices shape big decisions, has pointed out that companies exploit this constantly. A store rarely advertises a price increase. It disguises one as the removal of a discount, because a loss discount feels smaller than a straightforward loss. Knowing this doesn't erase the wiring, but it does give you a filter. Next time a $10 loss makes you spiral, ask yourself a simple question. Am I reacting to the actual size of this loss, or to how loud my brain makes losses sound? That question alone can quiet the noise enough to make a clearer decision, one measured in real dollars, not in amplified fear. You lost $10 this week. It felt like losing $50. Now you know why. The $100 you gained never had a chance against it. Not because of the math, but because of a brain that has been protecting you from scarcity since long before dollars ever existed.